Hi, welcome to this video. My name is Yannis and I want to share with you some fun sounds that you can make with Syntakt that are rather a little funny, absurd or weird. So they might help you out if you feel like your music sounds too serious or you need something that is a little less predictable or just sounds a little more, simply weird. And there's also a good chance that you feel like, oh my god, this sounds really terrible, because I guess that's part of making weird sounds. Some people love them, some people hate them. But I just hope it inspires you to explore Syntakt a little in some new ways. And let me quickly give you some examples of those sounds. So there's a weird chord sound that gets stuck all the time. Some sick bagpipe type melody. A broken telephone. Just a simple broken sound. A very distorted braindance type sequence. And some sort of dark, industrial, explosive sound. Let's start with this weird stuck chord pad sound, and you will see that all those sounds are really about the LFOs, because without them they don't sound so amazing. This sound without the LFOs is just some basic pad sound. So it's the chord engine, and if you want to copy settings, it looks like this. The only important thing is that the filter envelope is completely open, because we want to have some sustained sound. Otherwise, it would actually cut off the main part of the frequencies, and I don't want this. Otherwise, it's basically up to taste what you do here. And then we're going to modulate the type, which is extremely fun. And here you find it under mode chord. And I chose, I think it was like a sawtooth wave, something like this, that creates some interesting movement with the different chord types. And I mean, this is all about experimentation, so you can try all other waveforms. This is what I actually ended up with, because another fun thing is that now I can modulate the time of the first, or actually the multiplier of the LFO. I mean, that's really fun to have one LFO doing a weird thing and then using another LFO modulating the LFO that does the weird things. And here we choose let's actually choose the random mode. And now it will just randomly change the multiplier, which is this first value here. So it basically doubles the speed or quadruples the speed. Is this what you say, I think? And so let's see what happens. Let's check this weird random melody bagpipe type sound. And again, I removed the LFOs. It actually sounds pretty cool still. And it's the cymbal engine. So here you can see it's like the cymbal alloy. And that's the general thing that is important if you're looking for those sounds. Don't use the engines for what they're supposed to do. So this is a cymbal engine, but it can create many different sounds. So that's like a basic mindset, I would say. If you're creating sounds with Syntakt, don't always think, okay, a kick drum can only produce a kick drum. You can actually produce just super cool sounds with all those engines. And here, with the tuning, you get super cool layers. And the other settings, so actually the modulation stuff here is on 0, and the shimmer is on 68, because you can basically create super cool textures with all of them. Again, the filter envelope should be open so we don't get some attack, because we want to have the sustained sound. And then we head over to the LFOs. And here I was using random LFOs, as probably always, but they are free floating. And it's really fun to modulate the shimmer, for example. I mean, you can try all of them if you just hold down the note and then you see what happens to the things. You just need to increase the intensity a little. Which one is it now? LFO1. So let's see what happens. This is actually the other modulation we're going to do. Let's check an isolation first. I like this so much, I don't know. It's a really weird sound, but it sounds great. I like it a lot. And so the first modulation I used was this shimmer. I think it was faster. And then we can also modulate the tuning a little. Sounds also great. I think this was like a mild modulation. Next, let's check out the telephone that, without the modulations, sounds really boring. And the engine I'm using here is the PC Carbon engine. It can be really fun. I think this one I always need to work a little. I never find a setting in like 10 seconds, but if I play around with it a little, I find some super amazing sounds. And the basic setting is this. You see, it's not much happening actually. And it has those settings for inharmonicity and modulation. I think, yeah, mod is modulation. And those can do some amazing things. So let's head over to the modulations again. Use the random LFO. I think a bit faster it should be. And let's see. Oh, and let's apply a little. Let's see what happens. Also amazing. But here you get the kind of broken telephone vibe. Oh, and let's pick it up again. Actually, here it would be cool to modulate now the speed of this one with another LFO. It's not what I did in the example, but let's actually do it just for showing you how this could look like. If it's like slower and on the random mode, I think this can do a cool thing. Again, you have the fundamental frequency, so you can consider cutting some bass. Although it's always going to be really present, but it's just something that we can't get rid of. And instead of modulating the speed of the first one, you can also modulate the modulation amount, which is also good. Because then you actually get some brighter sound. Oh, but now it's too slow. The great thing is that both LFOs don't have exactly the same speed, so it sounds even glitchier, because if you have two random LFOs doing crazy things at the same time, but with slightly different speeds, it sounds even more glitchy. So that's also a great thing to know once you want to create any type of glitchy sound effect. By the way, in case you enjoy my Syntakt content and also the way I create sounds, be known that I published a full Syntakt sound pack with 256 fresh new Syntakt sounds. It's like a full bank, super versatile, so it's not like a genre-specific sound pack. I basically created sounds that I think can inspire you at any time. And if that sounds interesting to you, just check the link down below in the description. Next, there's this broken noise sound that also sounds amazing without the broken stuff, so just the noise. I mean, it still sounds broken, but it's a static noise. But I just like it a lot. Because it contains some bit reduction or sample reduction. There's this amazing engine called Synth Bits. And it also has like a melodic part, but we just ignore it. So actually, you can also do some amazing things with the melodic stuff. We can create super broken sounds here, but also for just generating noise. I like it a lot. So we can ignore like the tune part. This is actually the values. And the important thing is the sample reduction which you have here, and the bit reduction which you have here. So actually those two values. Without them, I think the sound would be really boring. And as you can see, it sounds cool if you modulate the sample reduction, and that's what we're going to do. So we head over to the LFOs, choose the destination sample rate reduction, random LFO, and let's go for it. I like this so much. Let's also check out the sort of Braindance sound, and it only has one LFO actually for modulating the tuning, which is like a basic technique. If you want to have some absurd melodies, just use some random LFO for the tuning. But first, let's check out the sound. Here I was using the rimshot engine, so this obviously doesn't sound at all like rimshot. Somehow it's great for creating distorted sounds. So if you just hold down the key and play a bit with the tuning and the balance and also increase the overdrive, it's like on maximum amount. I don't know, it's just super fun for finding cool textures. Really amazing. So this is actually a rimshot engine, just remember it. And then with the LFO, you pick the random one, and it's really basic, just applying it to the tuning. And in this case, it's the tune of oscillator 1, I think. And I think here it would be super cool. I didn't use another modulation, but the balance I liked a lot, for example, the oscillator balance. So let's see what happens if we do this. Or was this still LFO 1? No, it wasn't. Ooh. This is really intense. And we also have this dark explosive noise to explore. And here I was using the Syn Dual VCO engine. The settings look like this. So here I was using one of the, I think it's FM plus ring modulation setting, which is great if you want to get some distortion. And I was focusing only on like the second oscillator. I think with those types of settings, it's basically like a balance thing that affects the sound. And without anything, it sounds just like a nice distorted sound. Also overdrive, you can see. And it's super fun to modulate the balance. So let's use sine wave LFO and modulate the syn balance. Let's see how it sounds. You see, if we go all the way, we actually get this kind of explosion character. Now it happens on a regular tempo, but we want it to be less predictable. So we can again use some other LFO for modulating the speed and doing this randomly, for example, like this. And yeah, I hope this inspires you a little to create your own weird soundscapes, sounds, or even like full songs. And I think there's so much to explore. If you have some favorite techniques for making weird sounds on the Syntakt, we warmly invite to share it down below in the comments. And otherwise, if you liked the video, please take a quick second to click the like button before you head over to your Syntakt and try using those sounds or making those sounds. And otherwise, there's some more Syntakt content. Here's a playlist containing all my Syntakt tutorials. And here's another one with some more general advice on music production. And apart from that, I wish you lots of inspiration with whatever it is that you create and hope to see you soon again at this channel. Bye.